Unit 7, ArrayList, Topic 7.1, Intro to ArrayList. In this unit, we will be learning about ArrayList data structures. Their primary function is to store data. One way to better understand ArrayLists is by comparing it to arrays. You might notice a key difference just by looking at how we write the names of these data structures. What do you see? The data structure ArrayList is capitalized and for a special reason. Previously, we learned that arrays store a fixed number of elements of the same type. These elements can be primitive or object reference types. Here's an array that stores elements of primitive type integer. Here's an array that stores elements of object reference type string. What if we wanted to adjust the size of our array? We would need to create a new one. There is a more efficient way to create adjustable or dynamic data structures, and we can do so by using the ArrayList class. Notice that we call it a class. That's one reason it's capitalized. An ArrayList object is mutable, and it contains object references. Unlike a static array, an ArrayList object is dynamic, mutable, and can only store object reference elements. Let's look at how to construct an ArrayList by looking at its parts and purposes. In order to use ArrayList in an IDE like CodeHS Sandbox, you will need to import the ArrayList from the java.util package. Note, you do not need to write this in your AP CSA exams. To create an ArrayList object, you will need to call the ArrayList class and specify the object reference type you wish to store. The element data type is represented by the letter E. You then need to give the ArrayList object a name followed by the assignment operator. Call the keyword new followed by the ArrayList constructor. Notice that you have to repeat the ArrayList class name followed by the data type previously defined followed by parentheses. The ArrayList constructor, ArrayList, constructs an empty list. Let's look at some examples. This is an empty ArrayList that will store object references of type string. How would I construct an empty ArrayList of type integer or double if they are primitive types? Because ArrayLists only store object references, in order to store int and double values, we must use the integer and double wrapper classes when initializing ArrayLists. When an integer or double are added to an ArrayList, they are auto-boxed into their respective integer and double class values. Let's recap. Java allows the generic type ArrayList E, where the generic type E specifies the type of the elements. When ArrayList E is specified, the types of the reference parameters and return type when using the methods are of type E. ArrayList E is preferred over ArrayList because it allows the compiler to find errors that would otherwise be found at runtime. It is considered best practice to do so. An array is like basketball players on a court. In order to play, you need to maintain the same or fixed number of players on the court. An ArrayList can be compared to a game of dodgeball, where teams may change and vary in size throughout the game.